this is the second installment of the arpeggio studies that we're trying to put together with the blues, so we can kind of get away from just the pentatonic and the blues scales and kind of stretch out a little bit and working our way towards playing over more complex type of chord changes. So we're just trying to get our arpeggio shapes working. We did the G7 already and went through a good exercise on that. That's very helpful to get to know the tools you're trying to work with. So we'll go over the C7 thing in the same way. Now, one of the things you want to try to do when you learn your scales, arpeggios, or anything on the neck, try to always start on the root, no matter what string the root is on, because what I find with a lot of my students is that if they've learned a scale or an arpeggio from the lowest available string, lowest available note, to the highest one, and if it's not C, if I start this arpeggio on G and I finish it on B flat, then I don't really have a sense of where C is. So it's really helpful to begin and end the root on everything that you're studying, to kind of ingrain those targets over the neck. All right, so here's just a plain old C7 arpeggio, and that was just a C7 arp solo I was taking against that track. The only stylistic thing was that those little slides. That's about it, but there wasn't any new notes added, just flat out arpeggio. So there's C7 from the root. So it goes all the way up, all the way down, all the way to string 1. Then turn around and go all the way back. Finish it out. And then you come back. Then we want to break it down like we did on G7. We want to go through the root, the octave. We want to see all the little pieces, all the little small groupings of these, and not just always these big 6-string scales and arpeggios and things. We want to have smaller targets when we're changing chords. We can change easier within the strings. So here's C to C7. That's just a 1 octave right there. C to C. Then E to E, and I'm just popping a C9. I find that very helpful when I'm doing scales or arpeggios, to hear the chord that might go behind it. It makes it more musical for me. And plus I'm kind of setting up this little groove thing, so it's kind of like the fun factor. So E to E in the arpeggio, which is the 3rd. G to G, these are all still out of the same arp. B flat to B flat, which is the flat 7. Now I'm stopping there and turning around because basically I can't run an octave any longer, and I want to hear that sound of how they go from one to the other. Then I go back to G, E, C. Now I got this B flat over here, and I'm going to run 1 octave first. Then I'll run them 2 octaves. A G to a G 1 octave. Then I'll run him 2 octaves. Okay, so we know we did that. Then what's different about this over the G7? The G7 had a root on string 6 and it had a root on string 1. Now the root is not always the lowest note on your guitar. A lot of people think the root has to be the lowest note. If it's a G chord, it's wherever G is. If it's a C chord scale, it's wherever C is. So I got C on string 3 here, dead center in the middle, which a lot of people would think, oh, well, that can't be the root, but that's just where it is. So I'm going to go down, C, as far as I can go. I'll turn around and go back, all the way up to string 1, and then I want to land back on C, because I want to keep pounding in that information to myself. Where the heck is C? I got 120 notes on my neck, and I want to know all of them, and I want to be able to move around, and it takes time to learn them all. So I'm going to run it all the way down, all the way up, and land there. Then we'll do the same exercise in reverse. C to C, B flat, G. I'm out of note, I'm out of neck, so I'll go back to that B flat, C, E. Now I got 2 octaves for G. I'm going to play 1 octave. Then I'll play 2 octaves. I got the same situation with B flat. I'm going to go 1 octave, 2 octaves. Then if it's B flat, I'm going to turn around and go back. And then what that does is it familiarizes myself with this arpeggio in all these little small targets. So if I'm going to play, say if I'm going to play from C to C, so I'll just put it on the band here a second. Then I'll start from E. Then from G. B flat. Back to G. E. C. B flat. Okay. The other thing when you're improvising, you want to try to set up what they call in the blues a call and response. It's kind of like out of the blues, you know, you say something, somebody says something back to you. It's just kind of really a human thing. You say hey to somebody and they say, hey man, what's going on? So if I go, like I was doing this little leg, so to me that's like a call and response. I'm saying something, right? And you can turn it around, twist it around any which way you want to, but there's a flavor, there's an element of the same sound, so the listener can follow your conversation and understand what you're trying to say. We're not trying to confuse people. We want them to follow what we're talking about here.